Still the same?
Uh,
All right, you guys are live again with another episode of the Quit List. We appreciate you being here. Right before we get started, what we'd like for you to do is go ahead and share this particular presentation so that your friends will love you for it. We know that they will. I'm Dr. Stan, the Quit Doctor. This is the Quit List. Today on the show, I'm joined by my guest, David Trice. David Trice is an attorney at law. Attorney Trice, welcome to the Quit List.
Thank you.
I'm also joined by my esteemed colleague, Gerard McClendon, PhD. Gerard McClendon is a professor at Chicago State University. Dr. McClendon, welcome to the show.
Always good to be on the Quit List.
We're also joined by our esteemed colleague, Richard Nelson. Richard Nelson, we appreciate you being here, sir. Welcome to the show.
Hey, appreciate being here. Thank you.
Issue number one on the Quit List, we're going to be talking about the illustrious presidential election. During the election, we know that it has actually been a nail biter. It is all over the place. We're up and we are down right now. The election is still so close. In fact, it is too close to call. However, it looks like Joe Biden will pull it out in a very tight race. One of the commentaries said that, and they said this of Donald Trump. They said for Donald Trump, it is either the White House or the outhouse. So the question here, I want to go to Dr. McClendon on this issue just to get us started. Will Donald Trump vacate peacefully should Joe Biden secure the election?
So it would be a good look for him to vacate peacefully. It probably won't happen, but it would be a good look to see Donald J. Trump, I call him President Thug, to see Donald Trump bow out gracefully would be a magnificent thing for everyone. But, you know, pride goeth before the fall, man. I mean, Trump's the kind of guy that'll never apologize. You know, I wrote a essay on him a few months ago, and I equated Trump Tower and all of his entities to the Tower of Babel, you know, and he's obsessed with himself. He's obsessed with his name. Everything that belongs to him has his name on it. The very embodiment of President Trump is insecurity and pride. And so as far as him bowing out, man, I don't know. I just can't see it. You know, he's going to try to make sure that every vote for Biden is discounted and every vote for him is counted. We'll see what happens, man. I just can't see the guy showing up to the inaugural of President Joe Biden.
Attorney Trice, what do you think about this? When Al Gore was in this very tight race with George Bush, of course, it went on all the way up to the Supreme Court in a very contentious struggle. But eventually, Al Gore gave a very magnanimous concession speech congratulating Bush. Now, David Trice, now you're sideways on us. If you can straighten yourself back up so that, and I think,
I'm sorry.
There you go. All right, Attorney Trice, back with us. So here's the point. The point is that Al Gore gave a magnanimous concession speech, and he said he was doing it for the good of the country. Does Donald Trump have that in him? What will he do? Can he give a concession speech? What do you think?
Absolutely not. I don't think that he is capable of a concession speech. He does everything so unorthodox from what America has created, you know, ceremonies and dramas for people to consume. And he does nothing in the term of how it would ordinarily go. So I do not expect him to take that route in this part of his journey, especially if he loses. His nature is against everything that goes against him. He feels like he's a victim if he's anything does not go his way. So I agree with Professor McClendon that I do not expect anything to go correctly on this.
Well, one of the things you said is that he's very dysfunctional. He's very chaotic, and we know that is very true. That the guy is He's been chaotic. He's been this way ever since he took over the office. But during this particular election, for some reason, black men have drifted from the Democratic Party over to Trump in record numbers. I want to go to Richard Nelson. It looks like our friend, our attorney Trice, is having a little bit of difficulty hearing. If that's true, Roger, the producer, can handle that. Drop him out, bring him back in. I want to go to Richard Nelson, though, while we do that. And the question here is, why do you think black men have broken toward Trump in this particular election?
Great question, Dr. Stan. Let me first start off by saying that a man's color, not all people that look alike think alike, and we don't all want the same thing. So with that being said, I don't identify with Lil Wayne. I don't identify with Ice Cube, even though I was born and raised in Los Angeles. I do not identify.
Well, let me ask you this. Now, you said you don't identify with Lil Wayne and Ice Cube. Do you think that what they did, they came out late for Donald Trump, and of course, Lil Wayne said that I'm supporting Donald Trump. Ice Cube let Donald Trump use his name for his program, but he still said I'm not necessarily supporting Donald Trump. The point, exactly. But the point is this: do you believe that Lil Wayne, Ice Cube, Kanye West, 50 Cent, these types of people, do you think that they had any effect on black people supporting Donald Trump?
Yeah, so great question. They had an effect on people that they can reach, right? They're not reaching any of my contemporaries. I think education plays a significant role in the individuals who have stepped out to support Donald Trump. Now, let it be said, there are some educated people who have reached out and done so, right? But Dr. King actually stated so eloquently years ago that you have two types of people on the planet. You have those individuals who are conscientiously stupid, and you also have those individuals who are just ignorant, right? So with that being said, ignorant people, that's just lack of education, right? People that don't know any better. Now, personally, I firmly believe that every grown man has access to resources in terms of information, right? People are walking around with smartphones. If you're walking around with a $300 pair of shoes, and let's keep it real, if they're tennis shoes, right? You have access to information. You're just spending your money where you think it ought to go, right? Those individuals have a right to believe what they believe and support who they want to support. But when it's all said and done, they're allowing themselves to be pimped.
That's real.
Ice Cube made that decision, right? He allowed himself to be pimped. And actually, I think he operated out of ego because he felt like, well, hey, I'm coming with this 10-point plan. You're going to listen to me. And because you don't want to talk to me, I'm just going to go ahead and go over here with this guy that's going to give me some attention. That 10-point plan had already been enacted for the most part, or at least there were attempts to execute on those things that he tried to quote unquote bring to the Democratic Party. Yeah. And if he wasn't aware of that, which I'm quite sure someone put him to the side to help him understand that those things were already out there, then he was being conscientiously stupid. And so, when it comes to black, so I didn't answer your question, why are black men flocking? The black men that I know did not flock to Donald Trump. Those individuals who are uneducated, who are looking for a handout, who are looking for some attention, those are the ones that flock to Donald Trump.
There we go.
Exactly that.
There we go. And because here's the thing, that was eloquently stated, Richard. A lot of, this 8 to 10% of black men that go toward Donald Trump, there's some issues going on with them. One, they believe that Donald Trump is an alpha male, right? And they want to be a part of that alpha male hood. Also, they believe that Donald Trump has tiger blood. Kanye West mentioned that a while ago. Tiger blood is when you can do and say whatever you want, regardless of the consequences. And I think the third thing there are about 8 to 10% of Black men who feel emasculated because Black women are getting so much support. I mean, you look at Black Lives Matter, started by 3 women. You know, you look at the people getting college degrees in the Black community, Black women. And so a lot of Black men, especially those who are disenfranchised and those who are extremely franchised, gravitate toward Trumpism.
Now, one of the things I want to go ahead, David Trice.
I just wanted to step in there because I think Steve Harvey had already ran the playbook, or how the playbook was going to be run on you if you step into that sphere. And I think that those young men thought, like, you know, anybody who feels that they can, you know, achieve some kind of either notoriety or amount of money, they were willing to accept that part, or they felt like that they could overcome what Donald Trump brings to the table when, you know, when you come in, when you step into his arena. We already know that everybody has a price. I mean, it depends on what it is, where it is. I mean, if you're, you know, I mean, there are some people who are willing to be tortured, who are, you know, I mean, will take money to do things, and there are some people who you don't have to give them very much in order for them to do exactly what you want them to do. And I think that those young men who, as the camera starts to fade away from them, hey, they found a way to get back into that camera.
Now, I want to get back to this idea of the dysfunction within the Republican Party. Richard Nelson, do you think that the Republican Party is over? Is it doomed as a result of Donald Trump's chaotic leadership style?
The Republican Party, I'm sorry, was doomed years.
I meant the Republican Party.
Yeah, the Republican Party was doomed years ago, right? And I gotta kind of want to piggyback on something David just said. I ain't black, I'm OJ, right? You gotta find out real quick you black. But just go back to your statement. The Republican Party was doomed years ago. I really think that the stake was really put in when the young lady out of Alaska was chosen to be the vice presidential candidate for the Republican Party back in 2008.
Yes.
And Sarah Palin. The stake, I truly believe, was put in the coffin at that point in time, right? So much so that even the Republican Party had to go out and you know, and say, hey, we need to look and see where we're going wrong, right?
I'm having Richard Nelson, you're breaking up a little bit. I'm not sure what's happening there. We'll see if we can fix that. In the meanwhile, Dr. McLean,
I'd like to jump in on what Richard was saying, if I can. He said that the Republican Party was dying, but I think that what the Republican Party was being revealed by Sarah Palin, and then at some point it had to be animated by a person like Trump. And I think that what we witnessed in that is that throughout his presidency, 92% of Republicans saw Trump favorably. So I think that what the Republican Party wanted to be identified with, and those are the kind of things that gave them legitimacy, that is, the family values, and we are against abortion and all of those things. I think that as those things started to fall by the wayside, and the real issues of what the Republican Party was representing, and that is wealth and whiteness. And I think that those two things really was animated in a way that Donald Trump had eviscerated all of the other false things that the Republican Party was about, or the semi-legitimate things that they wanted to be associated with. But I think that what we witnessed, or what most African Americans felt, was going on, was that they were just using that as a legitimacy for keeping white supremacy, and not in the terms of KKK, but that white power should be a top of the throne.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're actually out of time on issue number one, but I do have one other thing I want to find out very quickly. I'm coming back to Dr. McClendon. Newt Gingrich said that, and he just said this yesterday, that he said, just like Abraham Lincoln, the Democrats are forcing Donald Trump to fight to protect America or to surrender.
Mm-hmm.
Is he trying to start a civil war? What is he doing with what's going on there?
They've been trying to restart a civil war since the Civil War ended. I mean, the Confederacy is alive and well here, man. They just have suits on, and some have khakis, and some carry AR-15s. I mean, we're in a situation now where Donald Trump is the person who Roger Stone said he was in the documentary Get Me Roger Stone. Roger Stone said all we needed after Obama, all we needed after we wanted to get these judges in, all we needed was all we needed after the Tea Party was a candidate that could pretty much be the candidate that we could control. He said all we needed was a horse. He says the owner of Breitbart, as well as Roger Stone, they said, we're the jockeys. They said Donald Trump is the horse, and we whip him as much as possible, and he'll do whatever we say. That's exactly what happened. And it became the Trump party and not even the Republican Party. This isn't unlike what Barack Obama did with the Democratic Party. If you notice, if you look at the iconography of Barack Obama, 2007, 2006, 2008, the iconography was the rainbow symbol of Obama. It was not the Democratic Party. David Plouffe did that on purpose so that Republicans who said, I don't know if I can vote for a Democrat, but I can vote for Obama. And so, the Trumpism is very similar to that. I don't know if I can vote for a Republican, but I can vote for Trump. That's what happened to a lot of people in Michigan and in Wisconsin 4 years ago. That may have flipped this year.
Okay, it's time to hit it or quit it. On issue number one, the question is, based on the chaotic and dysfunctional leadership style of Donald Trump, will that have a lasting effect on American politics? Dr. McClendon, hit it or quit it. Hit it means yes, quit it means no.
It will have it will have a lasting effect on those who enjoy and prosper from white supremacy, and those who know that the year 2030, 10 years from now, and the year 2042 is when white people will no longer be the majority in this country. That's what they're afraid of. Hit it. The party has changed forever.
Attorney David Trice, hit it or quit it. Hit it means yes, quit it means no. The question here is whether the dysfunctional and chaotic leadership style of the president will have a lasting effect on American politics.
Undoubtedly, it's hit it. I think that when you look at the kind of PTSD he created when he won the election, it took me about 2 years to just really come to grips that they were not going to try to get him out of there. And that's I don't think that kind of impression can just go away easily.
Hit it or quit it. Richard Nelson.
Hit it. Definitely hit it. I think he's eroded many of our a lot of our culture, right? The cultural dynamics that's within the government, he eroded. He made it okay to commit crimes and, just walk around as if I can just get away with it, right? I mean, he attacked so many different areas of our Constitution, but definitely the First Amendment, he pretty much just decimated it, I think, in my opinion. And so, yeah, hit it.
Okay, that's it for number one. Richard Nelson, we appreciate you being here with us on the quit list. Dr. McClendon, David Trice, you guys hang in there for just a moment. Richard Nelson, thanks. We appreciate you being here. Issue number
Thank you for having me.
Issue number 2 on the quit list, the Black Agenda. For the last 50 years ago, most Black people, or I should say many Black people, were indeed trapped in poverty. Affirmative action doesn't work. Some of the gains are probably attributable to race conscious educational policies, employment policies, but the road to true equality has been very elusive. Dr. McClendon, what do you think Black people need to do right now? We're actually faced with a decision, and we're at a crossroads. This summer was violent. The presidential election was unpredictable. What do you think Black people ought to be doing right now?
When we as a people are oppressed and it's obvious, we stick together. But when a few of us think we have become prosperous, we begin to separate. I mean, if you look at the solidarity that many of us had during and before the civil rights movement, the solidarity was a necessity because you couldn't just drink out of a water fountain or go to any grocery store you wanted to go to. What you ended up having to do was going to a Black owned grocery store, a Black owned place of employment. There was a self-sufficiency component. You don't see that anymore. And so until you pool dollars, until you become economically independent, nobody's going to respect you at all. So yes, this is political. Yes, it's important to vote, but it's also important to shop with people who you know. Think about that. Think about every purchase that you make. If you actively sought out a person that was trying to sell you a coffee cup, gotta find somebody I know. If you were trying to buy a cell phone, gotta go to a store where somebody I know works. If you were trying to buy a microphone or a mouse for your computer, gotta find somebody I know. Those dollars would stay in the community. But because people choose, and because people feel that they're free and franchised, they get money on a Friday and it's gone by Saturday. And the money ends up in the hands of people you don't even know. Until the Black community pools its resources, we're not going to see any progress at all.
Attorney Trice, what he's describing sounds like Black Wall Street. Now, we've seen this happen in several places: Tulsa, Oklahoma, Rosewood, and actually many other places across America where that same type of thing happened. Attorney Trice, do you think that Black people could actually do that, number one? And number two, is that the solution for Black folk?
I think it can be done, but I think that where we have in America is a systemic problem, and then we have to have a systemic solution. And I think that one of the things that what came up earlier is that sometimes people pretend that they don't know the solution. Mm. When we think about the NFL or when we think about the NBA, they have affirmative action programs and they have revenue sharing programs. And what happens is that small market teams that could not survive without a structuring that would favor weaker teams or weaker markets, right, and bigger teams that where there's privileges, you have to just not give them the advantages that they automatically have baked in the cake. And so you create those systems. When you have a draft, the worst team picks first and the first team picks last. And it's done by billionaires, and they recognize that this has to be done in order to have parity within their leagues. If they didn't have that,
all right, we just lost your audio, Attorney Trice. Dr. McClendon, he actually makes a very good point
Yeah.
I actually love the point he's making. Go ahead. Let me hear your comments on that.
Yes, David broke it down. I mean, it's like corporate affirmative action. When small businesses are in trouble, big businesses say, forget them. But when big businesses get in trouble, oh, could you please give us a bailout? I mean, we see that happening with Boeing, with United Airlines. We see that happening with all of these big companies who have these billions of dollars, who look at small companies and little people as welfare recipients until they get in trouble. And I think you're absolutely right. I mean, at least the sports teams have a built-in system where they realize that there has to be parity. And if there's parity, there's going to be a time when there's an equality of talent going to those teams, and you don't see the same teams year after year winning championships. All right. Of course, LeBron really is his own general manager. He kind of goes where he wants to go, but he's an anomaly. But you're right, David, you're so right, man. At least in the corporate structure, they realize that the system has to be concrete enough, or else it won't survive.
Right, and just to touch base on exactly what you're saying is that they understand it when they are operating within that thing is to create it. They understand what you have to do. You cannot allow the New York Yankees of the world to just dominate over and over again. And what happens is a Kansas City or a Green Bay can come in there and play and participate. And a team like the Chicago Bulls, which is effectively terrible all the time, can get a guy like Jordan, or a team like Cleveland can get a gentleman like LeBron. And then all of a sudden, the whole fortunes change. And if you continue to create those kinds of environments systemically, you will have that. And so I'm not so worried about, they didn't have to create a black baseball league. They just had to give blacks opportunities to play on that same field. That's all they had to do. They didn't have to make the lines any shorter. They didn't have to do anything special. They just had to say, hey, now we're going to give this opportunity to some other people.
Okay, stop right there, David. So that is actually the question for 2024 and beyond. Black people are and have been saying, hey, just give me the opportunity. Just let me play in the league. Just let me head the company. Just let me get a seat at the table. But is that the solution? Should Black people continue to do that over the next 4 years? Is that the thing that Black people ought to be doing, or should we be doing something different? Ice Cube came in a month before the election and said, oh, I'm attaching my name to Donald Trump's program. Way too late, obviously. Should Black people be right now, today, thinking about what do we do in 2024? Should Black people even participate?
Yeah, sometimes you have to be the spook who sat by the door. Sometimes you have to try to buy the door, own the door. Sometimes you have to be outside of the door. I think we can, chew gum, walk at the same time. I think there's opportunity for everyone.
Go ahead, Dave.
I think that of course we should, but I think that coordinating the 12 to 15% of the community and asking them to just kind of, get together and do that. I think that just like Professor McClendon said earlier, is that when we see that there is a reason to get together, we get together. And I think that what we have to do is to make sure that when we see symbolism, let's say, for example, Kamala Harris being picked as vice president as a symbol of what is possible, or what, in terms of whether it be gender or race related. But I think that if all she is just that symbol of what is possible, I don't think that we have much to gain from that. We've had enough symbolism over the last 50 years. I just think that has run its course, and I think the substantive policies that go in place, we have to scrutinize those and make sure that they help the most people in our community.
Yeah.
Okay, we're just about out of time. Dr. McClendon, I want you to give me a very quick answer to this. Is this election, it looks like Joe Biden is going to be the next president. So I'm going to go on that assumption. If that's the case, is that a win for Black people?
Yes, it is. It's a big win for Black people if Joe Biden becomes the president of the United States. If and only if we just get rid of chaos for 4 years, it's a big win. But you still have to push Joe Biden, just like Martin Luther King had to do with Lyndon B. Johnson.
Okay, issue number 2. It's time to hit it or quit it. The question is, should Black America form a third party, a Black party for 2024? Hit it means yes, quit it means no. Dr. McClendon, what do you think?
Oh, quit it, man. Quit it. It's not going to work. Forming a Black party, you're not going to get people looking at it synonymously, and you'll get a lot of people saying, what is Black? Aren't we post-Black? So no, forget that. Either get in the Democratic or Republican Party, make some waves, and keep it moving.
Attorney Trice, hit it or quit it. Should Black people form a third party for 2024?
Quit it. I don't think that there's anything that is unique about, we have been trying to state over and over again that our pigment of our skin is not a valid, difference between human beings. And I think that human beings are going to have to come to the same policies that, because of how we treat each other who have different things, that cannot be continued to be a way that we oppress or to uplift different people in this society.
Well, that's our time, folks, for this episode of The Quit List. We appreciate you guys tuning in. As usual, we thank our guests for being here. Dr. Gerard McClendon, PhD. We appreciate you being here. We appreciate David Trice, attorney at law. You, sir, are magnificent. And we would like for you guys to tune in next time right here on The Quit List. I'm Dr. Stan, the Quit Doctor. We'll see you guys right back here Thursday.
Camped out at home for COVID? Join us, Indie TV, where you will see the talk shows, movies, drama, action, and comedy. Be the first and see it first. Sign up now for free at Indie TV.